Well, I killed that fat pig and raped her sweet innocent daughter. Does that go along with the information that I was told? That was the plan? That was the plan, right? Nick Nick killed the fat pig and raped her, but she was supposed to turn on him, and then she just chickened out. She fucks everything out. She was supposed to turn on him and kill him. Nick was supposed to leave in a body bag. Okay? But do you see what she did? This is the sweet little girl. There's angels around us and all this shit. I killed that fat bitch and raped her sweet innocent daughter. This is her. She is now referring to her mother as the fat pig who they just killed recently. Okay. Let's talk about why are the windows all blocked out like that? That shit's not cheap to do. I guess she wanted to say there was trash bags. No, those weren't trash bags on them. Those panels to put inside those windows, that's expensive. And was it the whole entire house? All the windows in the 3-bedroom, and was it all the windows? That's quite expensive for the single mother who's not getting child support on the regular, and that has a safe full of money all the time, and there's bags and bags of shit all over the house. What's in all these bags? Pray tell. What's in these bags piled everywhere? Where are they getting the money for that? There's something in the bags. Why are the windows blacked out and it's so expensive like that when the neighbors knew that she could walk? The neighbors knew she could get out of her wheelchair and walk. She wasn't around them in her fucking wheelchair. But you see the wheelchairs are packed around the house like this. This is for, oh my God, when they had to go somewhere, doctor's appointments, charity places, wherever they're trying to do their con at. They hop in the wheelchair when she needs to hop in the wheelchair. No, guys. They had the windows blacked out like that so the people didn't see the children running around in there. Okay? That's why she had all the money in the safe. Where are you guys coming out with DDL? Oh, she just was a good saver. She was just good at saving. All indications point to otherwise. She wasn't cooking. They were eating out every night or ordering in every night. There's bags of shit all over the house. No one could move the wheelchair around. No one's rolling around the house in a fucking wheelchair. God damn, man. Look at this. And let's talk about this a minute. She's got 13 stab Dee Dee on her back. She's laying in her bed. Well, how'd she get in that state? Who did Gypsy overpower her mother, but she's still alive? Now, this is what we have to believe, right? Because Nick finished her. Somehow she overpowered her mother and stabbed her back up 13 times, but she's just laying peacefully in her bed right now, but she's still alive. When did the discussion about all the marks on her back, when did that come into play? That are all, one of them's right-handed, the other one's left-handed. Maybe Nick's left-handed, and those 4 were from the 4 that he says he did, and the other ones are right-handed like that bitch. If I got the right, left, right. It's one or the other. When did that talk occur? When did they have that talk? Well, how did those get there, Gypsy? No, we didn't, because they're covering it up. All on Nick. Take it off of her, put it on Nick. Come on, you guys. How do you explain that? You want to think that Gypsy was there alone, and then she got Nick over there to finish her off. When did the 13 stab wounds come? On her back. When did the carving of a fucking angel that took some time come on her back, that she later copied a trophy of on her back? When did that happen? And how did Gypsy overpower her mother? She didn't have any drugs in her toxicology. We didn't hear about any blunt force trauma to her head. How did Gypsy by herself overpower her, stab her, carve on her back while she's still alive? We have to believe she's still alive. We have to believe she's still alive, and that animal Nick came and finished her off. We have to, or it doesn't work. How did that happen? We're just supposed to go with, well, Dee Dee somehow ended up in her bed. her back all carved up, laying there. And then we'll just start at this starting point because that's what Gypsy wants. And all of you eat up this shit because that's what Gypsy wants. We'll start it there. We won't worry about, well, how the fuck did you get her in the bed like that with 0 drugs on the toxicology? How did you do that? No, we're not going to look at that. You guys, they found the body on the 11th. Let's talk about this. They didn't report it until the 14th because they wanted that medical examiner on. I told you guys, this is a total police cover-up. This couldn't have just happened. This is Springfield, Missouri, Greene County. This is one of the bigger cities in fucking Missouri. This is not a podunk. They have murders all the time. They know how to investigate them. They know what they're doing. But every now and a blue moon is going to come one of these where they're told, just sweep it under the rug, get it right, get it how we want it. And it was told to make it look like it was all him and get it off her, however you have to do it, and let's get this done. They waited for the medical examiner to come on. You guys, I've told you. The minute it went south and he found out she was able to kill Nick, David Blanchard, her go-to person, launched into, you know, he probably just called his person, and that person, I don't know how high it had to go up, but then they were notified. You guys, your public defender is assigned to you. She was assigned Stanfield because he is indeed a Luciferian. I know he is. Patterson, he's on it, okay? Because he's adjacent. If you pay him, he will make it whatever. That's why he was there. Nick's attorney was in on it too. He's adjacent. Stanfield's a Luciferian, straight up. The medical examiner and those other 2 attorneys are adjacent. They will do it. They won't ask questions. And you pay them and they just shut the fuck up. Because they know, they've been informed of how the world works. This doesn't happen often, guys. These people don't get arrested often. No one gets arrested doing their sacrifice. That doesn't happen ever, guys. This fuck up, Gypsy, is the first one. She's such a fucking mess with everything she does, man. They had to jump into action to save her and fix it for her because they did the best they could, 10 years in prison, and put it on him. That's what they did, you guys. Again, she was supposed to kill him. They were going to call the cops. They were going to come because she's in the club, man. These people, it's a complete, if you can't see this as complete police cover-up, you can't, listen to me, you cannot accept anything in those FOIAs or anything in that autopsy is true in fact. And that's a terrible thing to say, man, because any other time, guys, and most normally, you are supposed to accept those FOIAs, and everyone's supposed to, stipulate that everything in the FOIAs is true and correct, and that everything in that autopsy is true and correct. Because they are tools as part of the investigation. Everyone's supposed to stipulate that that's true and correct. Now, you know, the defense can argue once the medical examiner's up there and try to poke holes in what their discoveries were or what have you, but you can't in this case, man, because this is one of these police cover-ups, and they happen. They don't happen all the time, but this is happening for a very specific reason, because she did the deal, man, and it doesn't matter that the deal happened that night. Once you're in, man. And they jumped into action. That is why they waited. My group, we're trying to get them to release to us the schedule of the medical examiners back then, and somehow they can't find it. We don't have them, or they're deleted. I realize it was 10 years ago, but everything's on computer. And I'm telling you guys, it would show there was a medical examiner that wasn't working and came on the 14th. And that's when I know that they knew about that body there on the 11th already. I know that. Don't worry about how, but I know that. And they kept it till the 14th because I'm telling you, the right medical examiner had to come on. And that's what this is. That autopsy is not, that is not it. She was mutilated with her genitals, and they can't put that in there because they couldn't get Nick to cop to it. The point of that detective to go in there, she had one goal, one aim, get him to cop to the genital mutilation. That's why they were asking him about, you didn't do anything to her down there? You didn't do anything down there? And when he wouldn't cop and they knew, oh my God, we can't. That's when they swept it under the rug. They didn't talk about it because then it had to be who? Had to be Gypsy and Ace, like I'm telling you. Ace Bannister's bragging about town about it. They called Dee Dee the heifer. Dee Dee. They like to use the Dungeons and Dragons for D&D, but that means DD. Okay? He calls her the big heifer, and how they made her, him and Gypsy made her look like raw ground beef down there. Isn't that funny? The big heifer ground beef, get it? And they had to sweep that under the rugs. If he would have copped to it, if he would have said he touched her in any way, that's what they would have focused on at his trial. I'm telling you, I know how it works. They would have put pictures of her all blown up, mutilated down there, what Ace and Gypsy did to her as part of the torture ritual, as part of it. And that would have been it for him. All attention would have been off her. Okay? She was supposed to kill him. And then it would have been, he killed, did that to her mother down there, right? Can blame it all on Nick then. He killed my mother, raped the hell out of her, mutilated her genitals. Then he raped me. She was going to get semen in her. And then he tried to kill me and hurt me, so I had to turn on him, kill him. And then she would have been the town hero, got her fame, got her fortune, got the whole deal. Well, they got fucked up because she's a coward, I guess. But it's a good thing. Or it could be that he got saved by the softie because he couldn't get it up and wouldn't put the semen in her. She just thought, I can't do it now. I don't know. I wasn't there. But anyway, so this is what was supposed to happen, guys. And the Barney is exactly what it says. I don't care about the functionality of that Barney. That doesn't matter. People are telling me they know a Barney that looks like that they kids got, that you can squeeze his hand and do a small recording and stop it, and you can play it back. Is that all it took? I don't know which Barney it was. I don't know. Is that all it took? While they were torturing her, they hid the thing and kept the recording, then she did the thing and took off out the door? It was tucked under her head on the far side so Nick would hear it coming from, like it was coming from her. She was dead in the kitchen. They drained her blood. That's why, you guys, you're not going to see in the autopsy. Of course they didn't tell you that part. Of course they didn't tell you that they slit her from ear to ear. They just did the neck thing on the back. Okay? They slit her from ear to ear and drained her blood. That's how they take you out in a ritual. That's how they do it. And they drained the blood. Where did her blood go? Where did the blood go then if they didn't? She didn't bleed internally. She would have been completely black 4 days post-mortem. She would have completely black. You saw how they found her? She was pink because they drained all the blood out of her. How then? From the saws on the back? Oh, from the puncture in the back that he said no blood came out of? And there was no blood? They didn't find it all scabbed up or blood anywhere in the room? They drained her in the kitchen. How? They slit her throat like they do every time they do a ritual and a sacrifice. But the autopsy's not going to save that. That autopsy's a joke. You guys don't know. All of you people, even you old school ones and you people that have been this way, you guys don't know what real autopsies look like. Real autopsies are this big and voluminous, especially when they find out a body was removed around the fucking house. And they know that body was moved around if they were doing it right, but they covered it all up. They know that she was killed in the kitchen if they were doing it right. They would have pulled up the carpet. They would have pulled up the tile. They would have took the mattresses to the lab. They would have pulled the pipes out. They would have pulled the bathtub, the sinks out. I know how this goes. So police cover up. They did nothing because it was just put it on him, get it off her, let's end this, because they're all in that big club that we ain't in. I'm telling you, the only one I know of, Mike Stanfield, is a Luciferian, 100%. Devil worshiper, straight up. And I'll say it right to his fucking face. And so is Jabon Jarreau. The other ones, I'm told, are all just what they call adjacent. They were placed there and told, this is what you make it do. You'll get paid well. Don't ask any questions. And they don't. Because they know how it works. Either get along or, you're not going to get reelected or you're not going to work here much or whatever. Just shut up, take the money, and run. And that's what happened. Nothing else. That's what happened. There's no other way a big police department like that could fuck it up so bad. They were supposed to take all that shit into evidence, guys. Where'd the blood go? Someone tell me intelligently where the fucking blood went if she wasn't drained in the kitchen. It's nowhere. It's nowhere. And she didn't bleed internally. You can't tell me 4 days post-mortem she would have been peach like she was with some red on her. She would have been completely black. I know what I'm talking about, you guys, man. This is a complete police setup, and it's because they all were in on it. Of course, these things I'm saying, of course they should have caught it. Of course they would have caught it. But it was because it was a cover-up. That medical examiner didn't say anything about the genital mutilation, nothing about the burns on her, and nothing about her throat being cut and her blood being drained from her.